Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the do's and don'ts of D&D. Today, I'll be talking about character deaths and how to deal with them. So, this is an issue that pops up all the time for GMs. Is they don't want to just kill off a character very easily. Of course, the first option is always you purposely botch your roll. So, like, they miss, or of course, I'm sure many DMs already figure this out, even as it's very easy, just especially when you're behind your Dungeon Master screen, to just say, actually, never mind. This and this and this happened. But sometimes, however, the characters do die. I had this one character I'll explain how they died in a separate video about probably one of my favorite character deaths. Not because the player was bad or anything, just because of how, I don't know, sometimes battles can be a lot more intense than even the GM will expect, such as I did, and to expect it to be as awesome. And sometimes rolls just keep going against them. You can't just botch every roll, or the game becomes too easy. It's not fun anymore if there's no threat. So, what happened was she died. She died against the red cap. Now, of course, it's very hard to, like if it was some other character, like some lowly hobgoblin or something in the campaign, I probably would have botched the roll or something, just to make it so they didn't die, but unless it was in some grand battle. But this was a red cap, which had been sent there after she accidentally murdered a party member, because the Feywild considers manslaughter murder. So, what I had to do was figure out a way to send it off for a character. So, of course, as she's dying in death throes, I gave her her last words, which is something I believe you should give to a character, unless it's in the heat of battle or something. If it's like a one-on-one fight and then your party rolls up a second too late to save them, you should give them a couple last words. So she explained. So this character had already lost her arm in D a little bit back. So we had basically given one of the main character's bosses, who is in control of a town and basically has been sending them off on missions to help defeat their enemies, went and was getting them a new arm. So that was supposed to be in the next session. But since she died, I decided the best way to send her off would be to basically have Capelli, the town's boss, show up with the arm and give it a little bit better and neater of a tie-off as she becomes whole again, in a sense, in the last session she's in. Now, I personally am a bit more cruel of a DM when it comes to what you do after death. If you die in your first 3 sessions of play, you can come back. Mini sessions don't count in these 3. It needs to be 3 decently long, maybe, or at least 6 hours of playing, to give them, at least, if they botch a bunch of rolls at the start and die, because stuff it's way easier to die at the beginning. They can have a new character. So she died, but it was in her second session, so of course I gave it back to her, because it was one of her, it was her second session, so of course I let her go and build a new character. And my opinion on if you're going to give them a new character is they must be linked to this character who died. So she made a character who was on the search for her sister who had run away, and which was the character who died, and was searching for her to save her and protect her and make sure she was safe. And then, of course, she shows up eventually, and her sister's gone and dead. Yeah. Now, that's how I deal with the players. Now, the characters themselves, of course, if it's like a major person who's been playing for quite some time, trying really hard, like she like set up for this battle and everything and worked hard. Just all the rolls botched it against her and just did not help. Because sometimes everything just goes against you in D&D. And I know this after dying too many times in D&D by making stupid mistakes. So we, of course, gave her a nice funeral in one of the sessions where it was raining, and we drew up a picture of her cross that was pounded into the ground with her like magical scarf on it, just to make it so it fits the character's ending. It at least ties off some of their story arc and allows their next character to come into play. And that's how I believe like things like death should be handled. If it's a super minor battle, just like a little one-off, like this thief stole your gold, go get the gold back, and the thief stabs you and crits you and somehow kills you in one hit, don't kill them off. Just bust the roll. That's my recommendation. Unless it's like a character who's been, I don't know, less than adequate in the way of they're just not really having fun, so you just kill them off. I'm not saying you do this with everyone who's not having fun. I always recommend you try your best as the GM to find a nice way. But if they aren't having fun and it's just getting meh for them and they're not having fun, that's fine. If they're having tons of fun, I'd recommend never killing off a party member unless it's in a major battle, or if it ties to the story really well. And then, of course, you can have them, if they don't want to continue as a new character, or like it's multiple sessions in, they can, of course, you could always ask them for a hand GMing. I've done this a few times, and it's nice to see how they kind of want the story to go. Or, of course, like, even though I like my super hard, cruel rules, I'm still a softie. So if the character is like really good at playing D&D and they love it and this is the thing that they do and you guys have been doing it for like hundreds of sessions, then of course let them bring in a new character, or just, do a side game off with them or something. But yeah, that's how I believe death should be handled in D&D. Character deaths, at least. Goodbye, see y'all. Peace.